If you have knowledge of something, there's nothing wrong with sharing that with another teammate, whether it's somebody that's in your group or not.
It's all a family. We're all trying to help each other. Nobody's trying to step on anybody's toes. But if you see something, you say something.
I'm assuming the expectation, and I'll ask all three of you gentlemen this question, is to compete for, if not win, another championship this year.
I mean, it belongs to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, it does.
As we just saw in the intro, championship belongs to the Bearcats. Bearcats believe that. So the Bearcats' focus, of course, all season is to get there. You have bumps in the road. You don't always, everything ain't always, like we say in the South, everything ain't always peaches and cream every week. Sometimes it's cottage cheese and not cream with the peaches. It happens, right? But it's the bounce back. It's the refocusing, get yourselves back together. And we know if there's one team that should do that, it's the Jersey Bearcats. It's your boy, Cool McCain. Another episode, Bearcats Blitz. We already up to 8. As I was saying the other night, it feels like we just started.
Mm-hmm.
So, time flies when you're having fun. I'm enjoying myself. I hope everybody watching this, but if y'all not, that's for y'all, because I'm having fun.
Definitely.
And I'm sure these guys on screen with me here are having fun as well.
I think we started too late.
Well, hey, always fixable things in the future. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of agree with that. As always, we have with us Coach Roque. We got one of the elite linemen for the Bearcats, Mr. Steve, back with us for another episode. And let me get an introduction in the building real quick. We got Jonathan, the game day coordinator, finally on with us. So, Jonathan, I believe that no one can introduce you like yourself. So please introduce yourself to the good people that are watching.
Yes, so my name is Jonathan Burgos. I am the game day coordinator, and I'm also the digital media director for the Jersey Bearcats. So I've came from the Mass Pirates back in 2021 when they won the IFL championship. Recently moved back from Massachusetts after some personal issues. Just trying to look for, some teams out here that, fit my avenue or some in the market that was close to me. And when I found out, Jersey Bearcats were looking for some help in some areas, I brought up my expertise with the experience and knowledge that I had from working with the previous and past sports teams, not just the Mass Pirates, but the New England Revolution, a little bit of the Boston Celtics, the Woo Sox, the Boston Red Sox. So I've been around the sports industry for a long time. And not just sports, but media also. I have my own media outlet called News Talk New England, where I'm the vice president of operations for them and news director. So I have that going on as well. But yeah, came out with the Bearcats, and ever since I'm loving it. It's a true family ever since from the first day. And I just can't wait, what else is ready for the next season for, the postseason coming up. And then from there, wherever, life takes you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, welcome to the show. I'm sure you've seen us before. We just like to have a good time, man. Just like you guys like to have a good time. This is an organization, I say 90 to 95% of the people, maybe even 96, it's just real laid back until they get on the field. And I always say for me, when I'm like watching and talking to people that are always real calm, they concern me a little bit, and I think that's one of the things that works well for the Bearcats. And I believe it's something that happens because Coach has a very calm demeanor most of the time. Right now, times we can get, he can get lit when he need to, but it's more of a calm demeanor. Like, hey, we handling things as a business approach, to wins, to losses, to training, to everything. So I think that kind of rubs off and flows down the line to everybody. Jonathan, as someone that's newer, would you agree with that critique?
Oh yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Someone being newer to the team and just seeing how everything is. And everything is different. I mean, I did come from an arena team, in the IFL, but the IFL and the AAL are totally different, game styles and just so many different formations that I'm used to it, but at the same time, I do agree with what you were saying a little bit on that side.
Cool.
There's just things that I think that, that you see, and then there's things that, you haven't seen in the type of game. The game's always changing. Absolutely.
You got to stay ahead of the curve as much as you can for those changes.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
So, gentlemen, hate to go back, but we got to go back at least for a minute. Right? So, not this.
I knew where this was going already.
Yeah, but the game before, a little bit of a tough game. I don't want to really harp on it too much, but at least kind of let the people understand I guess the only place I really want to go with it is when it happened, right? The loss, you've been talking for weeks, Coach, that, you guys were winning, but a lot of things were still issues. Do you kind of feel like those issues just kind of hit you at the wrong time that week and just weren't able to quite overcome them?
Yeah. I think at that point, you look back, 2 weeks prior, we were getting a little too ahead of ourselves. Right. And I think that game helped a little bit. Like, all right, we can't just show up because we're the Bearcats, right? We actually got to go on the field and play football as the Bearcats.
Right.
And that bye week, that next week, we kind of got ourselves back together on that bye week. Had a tryout, got some guys in there. Always trying to get better and bring guys in that want to be here and live up to our potential that we have. And I definitely think we did that. Sure.
Turf Talk was able to talk to a couple of those guys, and man, those guys seem like they're hungry. Still really calm, but you can feel the hunger. You can see it. Their responses, the way they're carrying themselves, it definitely seemed like guys who film the Bearcats. Based off what I know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, they fit right in. Like today, I practiced dancing around JJ. Mel, same thing. Like the guys they're there, man. They're ready to go.
Man, it sounds good. It's exciting always.
And we got some other guys in practice today.
Yeah.
Our guy used to have Tariq Noble, used to play with us last year. And 23. No, just last year. And Javon Young, those guys were out at practice today. So, oh man. Talk about getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be happening even more, huh?
Oh man. Definitely gonna be a party in the backfield.
How many times a week?
Like three or four times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
So, Steve, as a player, what did you see 2 weeks ago in that unfortunate loss?
Just felt like we were playing kind of sloppy, and it was a frustrating one for sure. And like AJ said, like we kind of lost our energy a bit, and that loss kind of put things into perspective. And I think a little break with the bye week and coming back, like it kind of refreshed everybody, and we got back to just like enjoying the game, and still got some things to clean up. But the energy between that Maryland game and last week were much different.
I dig it. Jonathan, got to ask you too, sir. What did you see in that game 2 weeks ago that you felt like was a little different from what you normally see with the Bearcats?
Yeah, I think basically just during that game, we beat ourselves down. We didn't play our type of football. We just, our formations were up. We didn't just play our style of football. And I think, from having the bye week, like Steven said, and coach, that helping that refresh, reprocess, and refocus and everything, it helped, gain that confidence that we need to, know that, we're one of the top elite teams in the league. We're better than what we're playing right now. And, moving forward, we can compete and show, how we really play Bearcats football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig it. And a big thing for me too, and I say this a lot, I know you're a guy you're a team that's getting everyone's best shot. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting the other team's best shot and maybe you're not executing, you shoot yourself in the foot a little bit, some of those things, it can be one of these situations that happen. But I think that, talking to you guys, talking to some of the new players, you guys bouncing back with the win after the bye week, it kind of shows why you have championship expectations. It kind of shows why you expect to be there having a say at the end, because it's the long game, right? Mm-hmm. So had to touch on a tough week. We're going to go ahead and flush that. We're going to worry about that no more. That's done. This past week, time to get into that. So, Coach, before we get into this past week, talk to us about the new guys and what you feel like they've brought in practice, in the game you've played, and just kind of melding with everybody else.
I think they brought they lit a fire, right, under certain guys. Because if you watch the game the other day, the three new guys were the first ones down on kickoff. And I pointed out, and that's what those guys were talking about, yesterday.
Yeah.
They were the first three down, literally, and by a good 5 yards. Like, where's everybody else? So, those guys are going to be playing over some of the guys we've been at, right? Because it's about winning and putting the best people on the field, right? It's nothing about feelings. Like, I still love all the guys we have. Right. It's not personal. Nothing's personal, but it's got to be the best interest of the team.
Yeah. I think sometimes success, we say it all the time, success can be complacency. And sometimes people, they need to get punched in the face. And they need to say, oh, after we got punched in the face, now guys were brought in to maybe take my reps. So I got to step up. And, you get one or two type things in those situations. The other guys say, all right, these new dudes that came in, think they're gonna take my spot. I'm getting my spot back. Or you let the new dudes keep your spot. So it's up to your play, right? Like you said, it's not that you've been here longer. It's not that I like you. It's not that we're closer. It's not what you did in the past. It's what you're doing right now.
Right now, it's where your feet are. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. And I love that you guys operate that way. And I wanted to go back and talk about that a little bit because I know it precipitated the new people. And so people understand you're not just talking when you say, hey, I'm looking for the best guys to play. And those guys are going to play. Other guys, hey, if you're still doing enough to be on the team, that's fine. But if someone else is outplaying you, you can sit and watch them until you can outplay them. Mm-hmm. And, I think
nothing personal.
Yeah.
Nothing personal.
I think it's important for teams to understand. And I hope the rest of the teams in the AAO too, as well as other leagues, are taking note of it and saying, you know what, that kind of makes sense. If I have to go out and get other guys because guys are not performing to the expectation, then I'm going to do that. And if those guys come in and outplay guys that have been here, then they're going to play. You're going to sit and watch them.
Yep.
You know, like I said, it's not business. It's not personal. It's business.
Yeah.
In the business of winning games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not here to come on and talk about how we lost games. We're here to talk about how we won and what we're going to do to continue to win. So there's only one way to make it happen.
And at the end of the day, right, they were still a help to get us where we are. So at the end of the day, if we all win a chip, everybody gets a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just forget about just because now after the season, first 8 games, you're not playing anymore. That just doesn't get thrown away.
Right. You still contributed to
Right.
getting where you did. And then the thing is, what I also love about you guys is your depth, right? So we talk a lot about some guys start, maybe they play. Some guys may play more than others. Some guys may play less than others. And there may be games or different situations where certain players' skill sets work best.
Right.
But you always stay ready.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You say that in every league, but especially like AL2, it's kind of like a basketball league in that something happens, you got to be ready. And you get the reps, so there's no excuse. It's not like the only guys that are practicing are the guys that are projected to start. Everybody's practicing. You want to be deep at every position, and you have the expectation that the guys that are second, third on the depth chart can still step up and step in if they need to. So you still have to be ready, even if you may have lost some of your reps or your starting position, because you can get it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's just up to you.
Yeah. And, you know, is everybody going to play the playoffs like we do during the regular season? Probably not. Right, as much.
Right.
But we'll figure out, you know, opportunities to get guys in the game, you know, at different parts. But is it going to be the same reps? No.
I dig it. So, Jonathan, I'm going to ask you this question. So, as you saw these new guys come in, I'm sure you were there to see their tryouts and see them kind of implement into the team. How surprised were you at how well they were able to execute after just, you know, practice and then game time?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was surprised. I was just saying that, you know, I was just like, okay, you know, being in the game a little bit, you know, going from the IFL, I've seen players come from Division 2, Division 3, Division 1s, or just, you know, undrafted. And I've seen so many styles, but just to see their hungerness, their passion, their drive just to even compete. And then they were telling me, you know, on the sidelines, on the bench, saying that, you know, this is their time, it's their moment, they want to prove it. They're proving it right now, and they just got to keep doing what they're doing, and they're going to have a successful career.
See, that man gave me a nice, polished, honest answer. It was a good answer. So it was a good answer. Steve, as a player, new guys come in, their personalities, their quirks, and everything. How easily did these guys fit into, you know, the team as a whole? And how easily did they buy into, from your perspective, you know, the Bearcats philosophy?
In terms of buying into the Bearcats philosophy, I mean, they came in ready to go and wanted to make plays, and you know that's what we kind of look for with everybody that we bring in. And I mean, I think AJ and John and everybody do a great job of, you know, finding guys that are gonna get along with everybody. Like, we haven't really ever had an issue within the roster. You know, and you look at the couple of new guys that we've had today and last week, like in the locker room today, everybody's all laughing and having fun with each other. You know, and getting to know each other as like they've been here the whole year, really.
Yeah, that's good, man. I know it's important. Like I said, talking to them yesterday, they were very excited about being the guys I talked to. Mm-hmm. They were very excited about, you know, being on the team, how they got there, being able to compete, you know, and getting playing time, right? Because sometimes you get at it, and it's like, all right, I'm here, but they ain't gonna really play me, you know, much because I just got here, whatever. But no, it's not the Bearcat way. Best players play. It is what it is. Like Coach said, it's business.
That's it. But I tell you what,
I mean, You want to go, AJ?
Good. No, good.
No, I was just say like, some of the new receivers, like they haven't really gotten the reps on offense yet, and like they're still getting adjusted to our system. But I mean, they're still out there fighting on special teams every time they ran out there, which is something that you are looking for guys all the time. You don't always have that with the guys that you bring in.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's part of the game, right? It's part of playing. So maybe you're not getting the reps at your chosen position, quote unquote, but there's still ways to, contribute to an organization, to contribute to a team and stand out. And if you can show I'm willing to go all out special teams, then it's easier for coaches to believe you're going to go all out when you get in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that too.
I tell you, one of the positions, we didn't touch all year is the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Same guys from start to now. Quarterback as well, and I think that's the only position.
That's all right. Those are important positions. The offensive line, the quarterback, and then being able to play together, know each other, and kind of know everything about each other. That's important. And you got to flip a lot of points. So it's been successful for the most part.
Yeah.
Little hiccups, but everybody has a little bit of hiccups.
And we talked about earlier, right? Bringing guys in at the end, but it's only a certain few you can bring in. You can't bring in everybody new in the end.
Right.
Right. We didn't mess with the O-line, and we didn't mess with the quarterbacks.
Right. And if guys are handling things and being as successful as they need to be, there's not a need for a lot of guys.
Right.
But sometimes the shakeup is good because new motivation.
Yeah. And then you get to the quarterback again.
Yeah.
Be able to get to the quarterback. But we're definitely gonna protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
And now we're definitely going to get to the quarterback.
So protect yours, get to the other one. I like that philosophy. That sounds like a philosophy that theoretically should be good.
Right.
And it looked good last week.
Yeah. It was okay last week. It wasn't good. It was okay.
Okay. We'll go with okay then. If you say okay, it was okay. So
can't be satisfied all the time. Not the way we've been playing.
That's true. That's true. So speaking of last week, and this question is for all three of you gentlemen. What was something that was a positive from this past week's game?
Guys having fun, I think, was the biggest. If you look at the past few weeks, nobody was there was really no celebration. Guys weren't running around after the touchdown. It was none of that. It was, and this week you finally seen that again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the biggest difference, right? Because Stampede game, the first time we played them, right, there was a lot of back and forth going on, and we were getting a bunch of flags, and people were getting ripped for it and all that. So it kind of slowed down, and then look, we played the Roughnecks, tough game. We had to come back on the last drive, and then Maryland, we ended up losing, right? And then we got back, and all it was just have fun, man, get back to having fun. And that first time we scored, they played duck, duck, goose. I knew like we had, guys were back, like they were back. Like that's what we want. But have fun doing it. But then on the other, I'm gonna flip and I'm gonna get to the bad side now, right? We talked about the good stuff.
Okay.
We had 18 penalties for 129 yards. We had 2.5 times arena football field in penalties.
Yeah.
3 of them were kind of but there was legit 15.
Yep. And we've talked before about how the need to kind of clean those things up. We've also talked about some of the referees a little questionable too. So
yeah, but we were saying it, and right, you go back and watch the film. they were us. And, you know, and you stop and you be like, is that us or is that them? And like I said, out of the 18, 3 of them were bad.
Right.
15 of them were actually penalties.
Because
it was us playing down, like we're running the play away or something, and from a receiver or something, and he's just standing there with a DB, and then the DB tries to run, and now we put hands on him and try to I gotta block him now, and now he goes to pull away. Right now it's holding. You get called every time. You see a jersey get pulled, it's getting called.
Yeah.
Right. So it's finishing blocks and not playing down our competition. Don't be lazy. It all comes down to discipline. And I think we'll be all right going forward. I believe so, honestly.
Okay. Steve, same thing for you. So something you saw good, and go ahead and go with something you saw bad as well.
Really just the same thing as AJ. Like, we were a little flat, and like just being able to get our energy back and have fun again. You know, I think that just changes so much in like how you play. Like, I know when I'm not like joking around and having fun, like I'm not playing my best football whatsoever. Maybe I joke around a little too much here and there, but like it always, I feel like, elevates your game when you're in the better mood. And we finally had that again after a few weeks of not. And then bad, I mean, penalties too. Like, we've had that issue throughout a decent amount of the year, and I think actually going through and seeing like, hey, it wasn't really on the refs, it was on us. I think that could have been a good wake-up call for us.
Okay. Jonathan, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I'll probably just go off what AJ and Steve said. You know, we're starting to have fun again. We used to have so much fun in the past games that we played. You'll always see me, you know, after the guys score, me running down the field with my camera. So that's how you know, like, if the camera's running around the field with the players, that's how you know we're all having a good time and everything. Because who doesn't love seeing, you know, the guys react and how they'll celebrate, especially over social media. We get elections, they love it. But we just defeat ourselves in a lot of the situations that we're in, from game penalties to just game situations.
Yeah.
It comes back to us. We just have to, you know, play our style of football, improve every single time we have a chance to get on that field and practice, and just come out next time and ball.
I feel it. So, you know, I always like to ask, Jonathan, I'll go back to you first on this one. I always like to ask that one player, one moment in the game where you kind of felt like, all right, we got it now. Like, we're good. We back on track. For this game, Jonathan, what was that moment for you?
I would say for this game, it would have to be probably, I would think the first scoring touchdown we had with Mateo's throwing us, passing it over to
Kyle.
Kyle. So that opening a drive, first scoring, and then just seeing everyone celebrate after that, I think that right there for me just showed, listen, we're back to playing our style of football. You know, we're a run and pound team. We love to, you know, attack first, and we attacked and we did it. And again, wasn't a clean win for us. Wasn't the best, but we got the job done, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely true. Steve, what was your moment?
I mean, AJ already mentioned it, and it was one of the celebrations again, the duck, duck, goose, when you got everybody out there just enjoying it and really like feeling that energy after a big run and touchdown. So it kind of felt like we had it back again.
Coach, I know what I think you're going to say, but what's your moment?
I want to go with Nas's run, his toss that he scored on when he did a duck, duck, goose. You know,
Okay.
the DB, for the Outlaws. Listen, Nas is a big dude, right? And you're coming down trying to hit him, you got to make a decision. And there was a business decision made on that play.
I would have made a business decision too if
And-
Nas was coming down.
And just after that, you just felt like, all right, we just took a toss to the house for 18 yards or whatever it was. Like, all right, we can run the football. It's gonna be a okay day.
I dig it. Now, of course, defensive player of the game. Who's your defensive player of the game, Coach?
Joey Ramirez,
Okay.
6 tackles, 1 interception, 2 tackle for losses. I mean, he just had a hell of a day. The old man is back. He played well.
What about you, Steve?
For defensive player of the game,
Yep.
I'd say Joey too. He was all over the place. I mean, also I'd say J-Rock coming right out of the gate, his first play with us, having a sack.
I dig it. All right,
Oh,
Jonathan.
and Joey had 1 sack too, because I know if I didn't mention it, he would definitely realize I didn't say it and text me. So, yes, you had a sack too. I forgot it.
Yes, he would. For me, I'm definitely gonna say Joey. Just the way that he played, just from his last performances and to today, he's definitely improved. He's showing that he still has it in the tank. And then what Steve said, J-Rock coming right out of the pen, rocking out, just playing hard-nosed football, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, J-Rock almost had a scoop and score. Forced fumble, picked it up, but he ended up getting tackled before he going in. But
Yeah.
could have had a forced fumble TD.
Yeah, he talked about that. Jonathan, I was asking you, Jonathan, who's your offensive player of the game?
Oh, my offensive player of the game? Mateo. He had 3 touchdowns. But he's also coming back off of a suspension game. So then coming back, playing his style, he's showing that he's hungry and he's just ready to compete. And that's what we are. We're a team that competes, and we're not going to take no for an answer. Come to our house, we talk all the trash you want, but at the same time, you better be ready to back those words up.
So if you talk a lot of ish, you better back it up, basically.
Exactly.
Yep.
Steve, who's your offensive player of the game?
I'd probably say Teo too. Had the 3 touchdowns, had a couple of big runs too throughout the game.
Mm-hmm. One, he was behind Steve on one of them.
Finally got out there on an Alabama.
Yeah.
About you, Coach?
I got to go with Teo also.
Okay, clean sweep.
He's just there's things that he can do and that makes him special. He's 20 years old. Like, this is his first year playing an indoor game. That kid's sky's the limit. With his ability and being new to this game, like, we're definitely not going to see him around here for much longer. Like,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Last person I said that about was Ross, and look.
Yeah. Yep. It's not around. So got a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
So guys, anything else? We'll just go around. Anything else from this game that you guys would like to discuss from this win?
Slowing down the offense. I think for us, sometimes we slow down. I think we can't do that no more because I think we get that's when we get lazy a little bit. So I think staying upbeat and staying with game flow, I think will help us a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, anything you want to add?
Yeah, like AJ said, just keeping our foot on the pedal. Try and keep our rhythm going. We definitely slowed down our rhythm a little bit in the middle of the game, but picked it back up at the end. We just gotta not have that dip in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jonathan, anything you want to answer?
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is like everyone, like AJ and Steve said, just all gas, no brakes from here on out. It's we have one more regular home season game left, and after that, it's playoffs. And once playoffs comes, each team is different. It's not the same as a regular season, so we just gotta be ready to play our style of football. And that's really what we gotta do. Just keep the pedal to the metal.
I just gotta say, man, anytime somebody says all gas, no brakes, I'm a big wrestler fan. So in my mind, I'll be like, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, there's definitely will be all gas this week. I'm telling you.
And coach, I'm glad that you said that. Got another rematch this week, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to understand what happened this week. They're going to make adjustments. Obviously, you're going to make adjustments, and then in-game adjustments will probably happen on both sides. What do you feel like right now going into the game that you guys need to do to get closer to the team that you want to be?
Keep our composure, right, and focus on the bigger goal, right, is to get out of there 1-0 and not necessarily play a clean game, but play our style of football that we know we can, right? Not everything's always going to go our way, right? But we need to get back to, having 8 drives and scoring seven at those 8 drives, or 8 drives and score 6 at them, not half of those drives. And I think once we get there, and the biggest thing is keeping our heads right in this game also. And I think we will, because you see guys like even last game, one of our receivers is getting mushed down into the ground and stuff, and he gets on the ground and puts his hand up like this, on like, go ahead, I'm good. He got up, and I went to him and I said like this, Hezzy, good job.
Yeah.
Right, because I always say I don't want to lose my guys for one of them. I'll never trade one of my guys for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Hezekiah's been on before. I like Hezekiah too. He seems to have his head on good. So
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Steve, same thing for you, man.
Yeah, keeping our composure and just not let them make us do anything stupid. And just play our style of football with our heads up. That's really the only reason, or the only thing that really drags us down a lot of times is other guys get talking to us and we can't always keep ourselves away from it. And it just leads to bad things like penalties and all that.
Makes sense. Jonathan, what about you, sir?
Yeah, like I said, they said keep our composure, just playing to the best of our abilities, playing our style of football. And this is our second time, playing them this season. So we know how they play the first time around, but again, the first time around is not going to be the same as the second, and the team's not the same team as we played before. So, they're going to come review us, we're going to review them, but we always got to, just be one step ahead of them.
How many times a week?
Like three, four times maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
for everybody watching, I always kind of throw out this for everybody. AL2 is what we call development football. So the whole point is you want to win, you want to be successful, but you want to develop guys so that they're being looked at by other leagues, right? So they're getting the opportunities, and you're kind of building the pipeline, because as you have success in your own league and other leagues see that they need players, you have them, they come, they get players, and it's not necessarily considered poaching because that's the goal, but they're elevating these players and giving them other opportunities. And sometimes, you know, a guy may get an opportunity and it may not work out, but they learn a lot and they're able to bring that knowledge back to a team and help other guys as well. So sometimes it works out when it may not work out, but the opportunity, right? As long as a guy goes in and maybe they don't make it, but they show themselves well, they have the right attitude, they do everything that they need to do, it just, the opportunity didn't work. That opens the door for other people, that puts more eyes on AL2. Because one of the ways you get eyes is by other leagues saying, hey, these guys have talent, right? These guys have guys, and these are guys that we can get. Like, we can go to a coach and say, hey, or go to an owner and say, hey, we were looking at this guy. We want to bring him in. No one's ever going to say in this league, no. They're going to allow that guy to take the opportunity, no matter how important that guy is to the team. And honestly, the guy's going to be important to the team if another team wants him. They're not going to want a guy they don't see play. So you're going to lose some of your better players. But again, like we talked about earlier with the Bearcats and many other teams in AL2, they're developing everyone. I'm not just developing my starting quarterback. I'm developing my backup quarterback. I'm not just developing my starting running back. I'm developing the guys behind him. I'm developing other wide receivers, other DBs, so on and so forth. You're wanting to have a team where when you lose people, you still have other guys that can step up and play. And you're getting the best of both worlds, because you're getting a guy an opportunity. He's going out and doing his best in that new opportunity. And then other guys are getting a new opportunity because they're stepping into his role. So that's what the league is about. And we talk a lot about the wins and the losses, but it's also about the development. And if you've gone back and listened to the shows, we always mention development and how guys develop, how guys continue to get better throughout the season.
Yep. Yeah. Winning championships and games are cool, but when a guy can move on, man, that's the best. That's the best part of it all, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it even goes for like,
ahead,
sorry. It goes for like us on the operations side. You know, we have interns that come in and help us, and you know, right now we don't have like a payroll where we can pay our interns, but you know, we help them as much as we can, but we're also developing them as well with their resume and their portfolio. So, you know, when they're ready to graduate or move on to wherever career path they're going, they have us as a resume and they can show that, you know, they helped us with this, they have these skilled assets, and they're just, you know, ready to develop. And that's what we're here. We're develop on the field and off the field. It's a whole organization.
Absolutely. And this does not rule out coaches either, because there are coaches that may want other opportunities. There's coaches that may be assistants that want to get their own team here and then, you know, build from there. So it's a development for everyone. It's not just player development. That's why it's not just called a player development league, but a development league. You want all your guys that want to move on and do bigger things, get the opportunity to get the base here to go and do that at other places.
And tonight at the girls, the dance team cheering, dance practice, the Lady Bearcats, they had Gianna there, you know, that's now with the Boston Celtics, who started out with the Bearcats. You know, she was there tonight. So, like, that was cool seeing that. Like, seeing her back and everything. And now she's a vet now, they were saying. So she made the team again. So now she's good. And this is where she started. Like, that's so dope. Right? It's not just football. It's not just the interns. It's everybody.
And shout out to the Lady Bearcats, because we had some of the Lady Bearcats on a couple of weeks ago. Real lovely ladies. Gave a really good breakdown, explained to everyone what they do and what they bring to, you know, the overall product as well. So shout out to them.
Even though my wife, she, you know, she's the coach. She tells me all the time that the people come to watch them, not the football game. I'm like, oh my god, here we go.
As long as they coming, right? As long as they coming. Maybe I like the football too.
Like, knocked it off. But shout out to them though. They are legit, and they really do have some big time like choreographers come in and do their stuff for them. Like from the Knicks and Nets. Had the one lady from she was at my house in the basement. They had a seminar down here one day. I think she used to dance with the Raiders or the Patriots, wanted to, and they're down here in my basement. Like crazy.
All levels global development. That's what it's all about.
Shout out to the Lady Bearcats. They do a tremendous job, especially with entertainment on home games to keep the fans entertained and just everything in the environment. So they do a great job for us, and we're grateful for them.
Love it, man. Love it. So, guys, any other thoughts for you guys? And of course, we can go ahead and get to the point where we're letting everybody know where to find you as well.
For us, it's a big game, right? Last one, always want to finish out on a high note. Go into a bye week, the 14th, before we start the playoffs. Get everybody healthy. And this is where you get to see what your final roster is going to look like, right? Which is that roster has to be in the 14th because there's teams that are playing on the 14th. So technically, that's your last week of the season, right? So this week is huge with what your roster is going to look like going into the playoffs,
right?
And there's going to be some guys that aren't going to go and be on that roster, and some are.
Right.
But again, it's what's best for the team, and those guys that aren't, they're still going to get recognized and noticed, right? When we handle our business and try to go 1-0 each week and see what the end result is.
I like the way you put that, sir. I like the way you put that.
Right, but in order to get there, you got to figure out ways to get to 1-0 each week.
Yeah. Focus. All right, sir. Would you like to let the people know where they can find you and, of course, the team as well?
Oh, yeah, my bad. You can find me. You can find me at on Facebook, AJ Roque. On Instagram at Coach Roque1. The Bearcats, you can find us on Facebook at Jersey Bearcats, also Jersey Bearcats Arena Football, our sports page, and then on Instagram, Jersey Bearcats Arena Football, and that's it.
All right.
And you can also JerseyBearcatsFootball.com.
Yep.
Buy your tickets.
Go get those tickets for this last game, and then y'all are going to be at home for the playoffs, right? More than likely. So you get those playoff tickets too.
As long as we go, 1-0 each week, we can keep this thing going.
I love it. Steve, where can the people find you? And before that, are there any last thoughts that you have?
Just excited to keep rolling, get to 1-0 again this week, and hopefully win my second championship here. Guess best place to find me is at snelly76 on Instagram, and also NSC Apparel.
I see what you did there. Trying to get some
little business plug.
Never hurts. All right, Jonathan. Same thing, sir.
Got it.
That was interesting timing, but hey, you know how it goes. Technology, you gotta love it.
Yep.
Maybe he'll slide back on here in a minute or so. But yeah, man, another fun week. Guys will be wrapping up the regular season. So I know that hopefully everybody will be there with their A game, just trying to get things straight, just trying to make the correct moves and get everything good going forward. But yeah, Steve, I know technology is crazy. So any last thoughts, and where can we find you? I'm sorry, Jonathan. I said Steve, my bad.
Sorry, I lost the connection. What was the question again?
I was just saying, any last thoughts, and where can the people find you?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a huge game. Let's just, keep the momentum going as we go into the postseason. And then we're excited that, it's going to be a halftime performance by Karma Carms this game. So it's going to be fun. And people can find me at Instagram at PeterBurgo1 and then Facebook at Peter John.
All right. Cool, man. Cool. So, yep, another episode in the books. Finishing episode 8. Obviously, we'll be on next week to talk about what happens and, injuries, kind of what's going to be going on with the roster for the playoffs and all that good stuff. And maybe we'll have some better idea of seeding and who's going to be wearing all that good stuff after this weekend. So it'll be a fun time, y'all. Make sure that you tune in and make sure that you're watching as many games as you possibly can, especially the Bearcats. You can find all those games.
PDF Sports, baby, live stream.
Yep, you can find replays of a lot of those games on Shady Sports Network as well. So multiple places that you can find these games. They're fun experiences. As they were saying, you've got the Lady Bearcats, you got the halftime show in place, all those good things. So you're getting a lot.
Drone view.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget the drone view. I've seen some of that. And then, these are not games that you're paying $30, $40, $50 to go to, right, for an individual person. So if you're in the area, you can get to the games. Check out the games in your area. They're going to be fun. They're going to be a nice experience, and it's going to be a reasonably priced for you.
Yep.
All right. With that being said, we are out for the week. We'll be back next week. Good luck, guys, on the game. I think we're going to come out with a win.
Hopefully, we get the 1-0.
Absolutely, every week. Let's go.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.